Let's talk about your relationship here in Lima.
She's 18 years younger than me. The culture here is different, the age gap, and a lot of times I'll get upset or something with her. Last night I told her if this relationship is going to go any further, I'm going to have to.
Meet Ken, a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel from Pennsylvania.
I'm 56 years old. I am going to retire now.
Now calling Lima's lively Miraflores district home.
I'm very patriotic, but I believe the United States is going through a lot of trouble right now, and it just seems to be getting more and more dangerous.
In this video, Ken opens up about his journey to Peru.
I came here because my best friend was terminally ill with cancer. Didn't even know where Peru was in South America.
Navigating the visa process.
I went through this hell when I was doing my student visa.
Adapting to life in Lima and building relationships across cultures. Stick around until the end where he shares practical advice for expats eyeing retirement in Peru.
If you already have a pension or disability, Social Security, and it's at least $1,000.
I'm Eric. I've been sharing in-person expat stories as I've been driving through all of Latin America, and here I have a good one for you. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel. We have a new guest today. Now let's go ahead and get to meet him. What's your name?
My name's Ken Webb.
Ken Webb. Ken, where are you from?
Originally from Colleyville, Pennsylvania, which is pretty close to Philadelphia. And then as far as the States, I was in Texas.
Where are we now?
Now we're in the Miraflores district of Lima, Peru.
Since we're in Peru, people want to know, how did you get from Pennsylvania and Texas down to Peru? What made you choose Lima, Peru as a place to come to after years of working and traveling around the world?
Well, what I would say is, because I spoke to my teacher about this today, I tripped into it. It chose me. And what I mean by that is, when I returned from Iraq with the Army in 2004, went to the Bahamas scuba diving, met a girl there from Peru, didn't even know where Peru was in South America. And that was in June of 2004. Then in October, I came for a surprise visit here for her. I was only here 2 weeks, but we stayed in touch. Before I went to Afghanistan in 2009, I went back to see her again for a week, and then she became my girlfriend. I came back from Afghanistan, spent vacation there with her, frequented the Bahamas a lot, but then I became good friends with her friend, Cecilia, who, and we broke up, my girlfriend and I, and Cecilia got cancer. And it was discovered at stage 4 already. And so unfortunately, she had to leave her job in the Bahamas, came to Peru. I came here to visit her because she was my best friend. And that was in actually 2021. We've been friends for a long time. Came for 3 weeks, went to Cusco, Machu Picchu, some other places. And then I was in the Army, so I had to go back.
So you mentioned that you are a military veteran. What did you do in the military?
In the military, okay, well, when I was enlisted, I was with tanks. And then as an officer, for 14 years, I was with military police. And then I transferred to military intelligence for 16 years. Graduated as a lieutenant colonel.
As an American military veteran, what has been your experience getting the visa to be here in Peru?
The student visa was really hard. But to get the visa to stay here, the requirement wasn't that you had to be military. The requirement was you need a pension of at least $1,000 a month. It's called the Rentista visa. And I did it through another person who was at our party, who's on Facebook, Chop, C-H-O-P-P, Bell, B-L-L, and his real name is Bob. And I said, why do you have Chop? And he said, for some reason, the Peruvians, they can't say Bob right, and it comes out as Chop. I don't know, but I said, look, Bob, I want you to do most of the work, as much of it as you can, while I'm in the States. I spoke to an attorney there in Peru, in Miraflores, who said he would help me with that. He could do that. And I did most of it in Texas, and then I was staying with my cousin in Melbourne, Florida, and drove down to Miami and went to the Peru embassy in Miami. And that was actually a lot quicker than any process I did here.
Why did you choose to stay here and live in Lima?
It's my 5th time here. It's actually practicality and a combination of that and just tripping into it. I mean, I came here because my best friend was terminally ill with cancer. They have an excellent language school here. Miraflores, Barranco, San Isidro, those cities have some of the best things. I mean, I would like to have this as a base. I have an Airbnb now. I'm looking at renting next or possibly purchasing at some point. I want to purchase. And I want this to be my base that I see the rest of South America from. I want to be here a minimum of 5 years.
If you're enjoying this interview and you're interested in seeing more content like this, you can check out my playlist called the Expat Interview Playlist, where I have been interviewing people from Guatemala all the way down through Central America and now here in South America. How do you structure your life here in Lima and continue to stay proactive and productive while you're in a foreign country?
The Army was very good for me because it gave me structure in life. I decided, I'm 56 years old. If I am going to retire now, that's a privilege. So I make sure that I take classes at the language school 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm working on my first book. I'm just like, I want to work 40 hours a week, but working could be working on my book. It can be studying Spanish. The classes are at a certain time, so that's not hard. I belong to a gym, the same one you do, Smart Fit, and I make sure I work out.
So tell me, what is the name of your book and what is it about?
The name of the book is Trapped in Deception, and it's a crime drama psychological thriller, and it's based in 2014 and 15, and it's about a person who worked for a bank in Dallas, Texas. The person steals money from a bank the white collar way by transferring money and by stealing cryptocurrency, and of course he does it in a way that they don't discover it right away, fakes his own death, and escapes to Huancayo, Peru.
Tell me about how the weather affects your productivity, because I've been to Lima so many times and 90% of the time it's like today, cloudy, drizzly, and the sun doesn't come out and that zaps my energy. How do you stay productive?
Wow, man, because you see, I have an entirely different take on that. I love the weather here, and as a person of very fair skin who has had severe sunburns, I like cloudier. This doesn't depress me at all. And to me, this is like a cheap California.
Let's talk about your relationship here in Lima. How has the relationship with your younger girlfriend played an impact on you staying here and your daily life?
She's 18 years younger than me. I knew her since January of 2024. We started out as friends, met in a coffee shop. I'm not fluent in Spanish. That's the biggest barrier. The second one is the whole cultural thing. The culture here is different. The third thing is the age gap. Being 18 years younger, she's a millennial, and there's nothing bad about being a millennial, but I'm Generation X. As far as with her, we run into some of those problems, and a lot of times I'll get upset or something with her, and I'll speak to another Peruvian, they'll explain what she actually meant. So we're working through it, and last night I told her, if this relationship is going to go any further, I'm going to have to get better at Spanish.
Ken, what's your take on the perceived crime in Lima? And what are the better neighborhoods for expats to live in?
I would recommend where we're at here, Miraflores. Barranco, I've heard some people like more. It's very artsy. San Isidro, although San Isidro, it's high income, but I'm not sure how touristy it is. The danger I've heard about here, because you asked about that, the danger I've heard about here is pickpocketing. And I remember I was at a cafe similar to this one. It was actually a Starbucks. And that later on they came out and told me, because the people checked inside in the cameras, there's some man trying to get my bag.
Tell us about the walkability of Lima. That's a very big concern for certain people.
Here in Miraflores, Barranco, San Isidro, I think it's very walkable. I avoid Uber as much as I can, not because I'm scared, but because I want to get in 10,000 steps a day. So I walk to the school. My girlfriend and I go to an Anglican church, and it takes about 50 minutes. If somebody gave me a car here, I would sell it.
What advice would you give to other military veterans or American veterans that are considering moving down here to Peru, possibly even to Lima?
If you already have a pension or disability, Social Security, and it's at least $1,000, don't hesitate. Check out all the stuff online. Get on the Expats page for Facebook. Go on the Expats for Peru page and ask any question you want to have. You will have some people say, oh, that's a dumb question, but most people will help you.
To finish off our chat, I wanted you to give us the thing that maybe is the most unexpected part of living here that has happened to you.
I would say the friendliness of the people. They actually really are very friendly. if they get to know you a little bit, especially if they realize you're trying to speak to them in their language, because that takes work for somebody who isn't a native speaker.
Thank you so much, Ken, for giving us all your information about living here in Peru and Lima, and your background, your story about what you did before coming here. I want to appreciate it, guys. If you want to see any more stories about expats living in Peru or in the rest of Latin America, check it out here. Hasta la próxima.
Goodbye.